The human race is systematically the best at all kinds of sports. Like, when was the last time you heard of a cheetah winning gold for the 100-meter run? What? And being a human, I think, I'm pretty sure I know how to score a goal try better than most. So in this guide we will look at this powerhouse of mediocrity and show what peak human evolution truly is. Probably. And with that said, I am Tech, and this is my guide to being the best human coach you can possibly be. Probably. Now, if you looked up the term jack of all trades, the human team would be staring right back at you. They know how to bash, they know how to dodge, and have a lot of skills to work with, meaning they can theoretically adapt to the team they face. This comes at the cost of being a master of none team. They have no real speciality and thus no real path or direction to go down. But let's get into the players. And as always, from cheapest to dearest, the Halfling Hopeful is a player that means a lot to this channel. You can have up to 3 of these, and at 30k, they are the cheapest player we have come across, and for that 30k, you get a reasonably mobile, completely expendable player who is as strong as he is tanky. Not very. Their stunty trait means that they take injuries at a much lower roll, meaning there's more chance to be removed from the pitch, but it's that same stunty trait, along with the dodge skill, that makes them agile. While they only have 3+ dodge, that stunty will allow them to ignore any penalty from a tackle zone they enter. So it's always going to be a 3+ dodge that, thanks to dodge, you can re-roll one of those check fails. This means they can almost bypass any defense with minimal amount of luck. The only other downside to stunty is that they can't pass in crowded areas, as they will allow anybody who tries to interfere a +1 to their agility checks. However, seeing as most players who have the stunty trait are 4+ at passing anyway, Now, one of the biggest boons they have is the trait Right Stuff. This allows them to be linked with the throw teammate and kick teammate traits, more on that later. But seriously, this trait has been vital in my halfling teams, and can allow the human team a less effort attempt at one-turn touchdowns. Now, skill-wise, they only have easy access to agility-based skills, and really, unless you want to go the one-turn touchdown route for a bit of shock value, these guys are your foulers. They're going to be ripped off the pitch at some point, so taking one bigger value target out is going to help in the long run. So Sneaky Git is your first skill, as it's the easy access one, and will allow you to foul a lot more often. Then you can save up for Dirty Player to get that +1 to armor and injury checks if the Fling lives that long, which if you play him like I do, they probably won't. But if you do want to go the ball handler route, Sprint and Sure Feet can help. Sprint will allow a third rush attempt, and Sure Feet allows for a free reroll of rush attempts, effectively giving you a movement 8 stunting. A random stat could be useful if you look on agility, as you'll now be able to land easier from being thrown, and dodging on a 2 is always good, but the expendable fouler is my choice. Next are the linemen at 50k, and these guys are almost as expendable as the Flings. They have bog standard stats and come out as a blank slate with no skills to their name. They only have easy access to general skills, and build wise, a kicker is always great, so having one can really help, and if you don't have a Fling, making the lineman a dirty player will do some wonders. But block or even wrestle, making double downs either neutral or in your favour, will be great too. Then you can save up for guard to give the linemen on the line of scrimmage their assists back, which will be most beneficial. Really though, if you want, you could just risk a random general skill for 3 SPP. There's no real poor choice with any of the skills you can learn, and then you can probably build on that. But you defo want guard on any lineman going into that scrimmage. At 65k, the catcher is a very valuable player indeed. You can have 4 if you choose, and for that 15k boost, they sacrifice their strength and resiliency to work on that fast movement speed. Not as fast as a gutter runner, but close enough. They also have access to dodge and, as per their namesake, catch, which allows them to re-roll any catch attempt. Skill wise, they gain easy access to both general and agility skills, and with these two we have a few great builds to work on. First is our main carrier slash receiver. Block is a must for survivability, as block and dodge mean the catcher is only going down on a POW unless their opponent has wrestle. Then I would say to cement that survivability and force pushbacks into your favour by getting sidestep, so you can choose where you get pushed. After that, it's all about how you want to work it. We could go the sprint sure feet route early and take that 8 to a pseudo 11 movement, giving us more or less a 1-turn touchdown human gutter runner, finishing off with diving catch to allow you a wider option of getting the ball, with a +1 boost if it was an accurate pass to your catcher. The other vital build are ball sackers. With this, wrestle is the starting skill, as you will remove the ball on a double down and run no risk of injury outside of fouls. Then we can look into dauntless, as that 2 strength means that every 3 strength enemy is more or less a 1 dice block, meaning better chances of sacking the ball. After that, I say strip ball, as no matter what, they will be losing that ball unless they get a skull. Then to finish off, I would look into sidestep again to be more of a nuisance. The thrower at 80k looks almost the same as the linesman in the stats, but that brilliant 2+ passing makes it an absolute GOAT. Combine that with sure hands for that pickup reroll and the skill pass for that pass attempt reroll. This means you are picking up the ball and short passing on a 3+ reroll every time, which, as we can see in the probability table, is absolutely massive. Skill wise, they gain easy access to general and passing based skills, and the first skill I'm going to go with is on the ball. What the fuck? That extra 3 movement during the kickoff is going to give the thrower a lot of value, and if there's a thrower who will attempt to pass 3 squares in range, we could even force them to have a harder time. Then we can maybe look at block if you want to make the thrower a ball carrier with the extra boon of passing, to which you can look into dodge to solidify, or maybe even dump off. Not an amazing skill, but if the enemy targets you for a blitz and there is a catcher within range, or hell, anyone in your cage will do in drastic times, you can quick pass to that player, and if they fumble, it's not a turnover. However, I like the idea of a full American quarterback, able to deliver the ball from almost anywhere. So my personal choice is accurate for the +1 to quick and short passes, making them a 1+ and 2+ pass respectively. Cannoneer for that 1+ to long passes and bombs, meaning now the long pass is a 3+ with a free reroll. Seriously, that second one is absolutely fun to play. Now the Blitzer at 85k is the freaking MVP. For that extra 5k, we get a fast, reliable player with a killer potential. They start out with block, and you can have a max of 4, which you're going to need as they are the backbone of the team. Skill wise, they have easy access to the general and strength pools, and they are really easy to build. As with any killer, guard and the +1 to armor and injury checks from Mighty Blow complete that killing trifecta, and I think all 4 can have this. Then it's how we want to look at them. Frenzy and strip ball can be very valuable, as the push strips the ball if they don't have sure hands, and the frenzy gives us a second go. Has its problems near the sidelines, but stand firm as the last skill can negate that. We could also save for dodge for the blodger killer blitzer, and if we want a giant slayer, dauntless will be valuable too. Finally, we have the ogre, one of the most reliable big guys out there. Coming in at 140k, and for that actually reasonable price, we get a fairly mobile, not so agile, but we can work with it, powerhouse, with one of the better negative traits in Bonehead, only giving you a 1 in 6 possibility of forgetting how your limbs work, which is great because a 4+ loner means it's a 50-50 chance of your team reroll working or not. Luckily, Mighty Blow is going to make the opponent clench with every block you make, and Thick Skull will improve your chances of staying on the field if they do somehow manage to get past your freaking 10+ armor. The most interesting skill/trait, however, is Throw Teammate, something the Ogre has had for so long but never been able to utilize on the human team until now. So long as you have a pass attempt available, you can have your player with this trait pick up any Right Stuff player next to them and make an attempt at yeeting that bugger as far as the max short pass distance. This isn't as great as it sounds, as the Ogre has a passing of 5+, so out of the box, if you go for that short pass, you are in need of a natural 6 to get the superb throw and the best chance of your fling sticking the landing for some SPP. But it still has a few interesting uses. One, it can throw the ball carrier into a good spot and is key to a halfling one-turn touchdown, albeit a bit risky. And two, as I ask you to stay with me on this, as it means potentially killing your fling in the process, throw them at the enemy players for a cheap knockdown. Can even be at the ball carrier, and trust me, this has actually saved me in the past. Again, because of the way Throw Teammate works, at being an inaccurate pass even on a superb throw, you do run the risk of misfiring and slamming your fling into your own teammate for a turnover, but hey, risk is risk. Now skill wise, Ogres only get easy access to strength. And while they are very reliable in the killing aspect, they are also reliable on the front line. So I say guard is a must. This big hard hitter having guard means anyone on that line is getting assisted, and if they have guard, the enemy team is going to need a lot more players committed to take that line of scrimmage. Block would be the ideal second choice, but you're going to be saving a lot of SPP for that, and if you can't wait, then dipping into Brawler to just re-roll that double down option is a cheap alternative. Break Tackle is even a great choice, as the one-time +2 to your initial dodge effectively means you can go from a 4+ agility player to a 2+ agility player that one time, and allow yourself to break free from a lockdown situation to go blitz or set up somewhere else. Now if you like the idea of being rewarded for stupid decisions, now we're talking! Strong Arm is a must. That +1 to the Throw Teammate pass check really makes that window of error smaller and is always vital, as even making the shortest pass go to a 50-50 is great value in those attempts, and will net you SPP for your troubles, so long as the fling sticks the landing. Now team build wise, we have a few options. Because of the fair price range, we can almost always take an Ogre, and I think the optimal build would be 3 linemen, 4 blitzers, 2 catchers, a thrower, the Ogre, and 3 rerolls. No matter what, we want 4 blitzers. Now you can opt for no catchers and fill that team with more linemen to make them more bashy, but personally I don't like that. Also, you could remove 1 lineman from the first option for a fling. That lineman was going to be either fouling or fodder anyway, so having the fling to do said fouls or be an option for a desperation touchdown can be great, and is just more fun in my opinion. But the last build I want to bring up is 4 blitzers, 4 catchers, the fling, a thrower, the Ogre, and your 3 rerolls. This is very much a dodge based team, but you will have such high speed pests with some bulk in the ranks to do some damage. However, for the rest of the video, we're gonna just stick with the first option. As far as inducements go, outside of bribes and mercs, if you have the petty cash, invest in Griff Oberwald, as Griff is great. He is the James Milner of Blood Bowl. Both are 37, yet play like they're 25. Griff is a blitzer with blitzer pace, but a coveted 2+ agility. This, alongside Fend, the Blodge combo, and the Sprint and Sure Feet combo, make him a disgusting ball carrier. And for 280k, he's worth every penny. Formation wise, we have some standard bread and butters. I would say defensively, you have a lot of movement to cover the back, even with just 2 catches. So if they get past you, you can easily head them off. And you can either place the Ogre up front to force more bodies into that line of scrimmage, or hold him back to deal a rebuttal. Offense wise, you have a lot of pace to bomb it upfield and enough bulk and protection to get a 2-turn touchdown. But like I said, you can also get the 1-turn touchdowns with the human team. The catcher at movement 8 has that capability, but it takes a kinda poor defensive setup and a lot of pushes and movements to actually work. Hell, by the end, even after taking 2 extra rerolls on my inducements, I ended up with no rerolls, meaning 3 rerolls may not get the job done. But the Fling 1-turn is probably just as risky, but way simpler. You have so much movement that it's an easy handoff to the Fling. Then we make sure we get that Ogre clear and go for the max yeet from the line of scrimmage. Anything but a 1 is going to go the direction you want. The only difference is how the Fling lands. Either on a 3+ with a reroll taking the landing into your favour, or a 4+ giving you a 50-50 chance. Hell, you might land so close you don't even need the rushes, or you may scupper it anyway. Hell, the Ogre may even go bonehead. But if you were attempting the 1 turn, it means you were on the last turn anyway, so we're either going all out for the win, or to go for the draw. So if it fails, it doesn't matter, but succeed, and it's a moment you won't forget. And that's sort of the human way, as overall, while they are a jack of all trades, master of none, they are great at teaching you how to play the game. Almost every playstyle is here, and while they are just average at doing these playstyles, they are great at easing you into the more specialized teams. Remember, you have a lot of pace in the blitzers and catchers. Use it. They will get up and down the field with little to no issues. Pick your thrower wisely if you only intend on the 1. Late game, 2 throwers with different builds can be great. And don't be afraid to sling a fling on your defense. I love the little scamps, but if taking them out of the game means you sniped the ball carrier in the cage, then it's worth it, isn't it? Keep these in mind, and just like Griff, you'll be great. And if you want me to be great like Griff, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, pile drive the bell thingy, and follow me on the Twitch and Twitters. Also, if you have any tips or tricks you found yourself, or just want to share your favourite team, let us know in the comment section below, and finally tune in next time where once again we will look at a random team. But until that day, this has been Techno Odin. Stay safe, claim skulls, smash bosses, and may Nuffle bless your dice.
What the f